There are pains that are difficult to explain, pains that exist beyond what the eyes can see or the heart can easily express. These pains are not the kind that leave visible scars. Instead, they are etched deeply within the soul, often unnoticed by the world. They are the silent struggles, the kind that no one but God truly understands. Yet, while they may remain hidden from others, they are never out of his sight. He sees them: every tear, every moment of quiet pain, and every sigh that escapes when no one is around. These pains are not without purpose. They are a part of something much greater, something divine. To be chosen by God often means to experience a depth of pain and hardship that others may never understand. But this is not a punishment. It is a calling. It is through these very struggles that the chosen ones are shaped and molded for their higher purpose. The pain that God's chosen women experience is not the kind that can be easily explained away or forgotten. It is not the ordinary suffering that life often brings. It is a unique kind of pain, a divine pain that comes with the territory of being set apart for something sacred. It is the pain of separation from the world, of standing alone when the rest of the world is moving in a different direction. It is the pain of feeling misunderstood, of walking a path that few others can comprehend. But even in the midst of this pain, God is present. He is not absent in your suffering. In fact, He is using this pain to prepare you for the extraordinary calling He has placed on your life. When you feel as though you are walking through life alone, when the world seems silent and you find yourself questioning the reason for your pain, it is crucial to remember this truth. God is not abandoning you. He is preparing you. The silence you experience is not a sign that He has turned away from you. Rather, it is in these quiet moments that He is working deeply within you. He is refining you, shaping you into the woman He has destined you to be. This is a process of purification, a purification of the soul, a purification of your character, and a refinement of your spirit. The pain you feel is not meant to break you. It is meant to build you, to strengthen you, and to prepare you for the weight of the calling that you will one day carry with grace and power. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed by the heaviness of your experiences, when you question whether you are truly chosen, or if perhaps you have been forgotten. But know this: you are not forgotten. You are being carefully and intentionally prepared for something greater than you can imagine. Each struggle you face, each heartache you endure, is a part of the divine plan that God has designed for your life. He is not allowing these challenges to crush you. He is allowing them to refine you. He is teaching you to rely on Him, to trust Him in the silence, and to find strength even in your weakest moments. He is showing you that His power is made perfect in your weakness, and that through the fire of testing, you will emerge stronger and more aligned with His divine purpose for you. In the times when you feel lost or uncertain, remember that you are never alone. God is not silent. He is simply working behind the scenes, arranging everything for your good and for His glory. Every moment of pain you experience is part of a larger story, a story that will one day be revealed in all its fullness. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The weight you feel is the weight of glory. The pain is the price of greatness. And through it all, God is with you, walking beside you, holding you close, and guiding you through the darkness. You are not being abandoned. You are being refined. God's chosen women are set apart for a reason. You are not like everyone else, and the path you walk will often feel different, even lonely. But take comfort in the fact that you are not being forgotten. You are being prepared. The silence, the waiting, the tears, they are all part of the process. Through it all, God is at work, shaping you into the woman He has called you to be. Your pain is sacred, and it is the very thing that will unlock the purpose that heaven has destined for you. So when the road feels difficult, when the weight feels unbearable, remember this: God is refining you, not abandoning you. And the woman you are becoming is more powerful, more resilient, and more aligned with His purpose than you could ever imagine. In moments of divine separation, when God begins to remove people or opportunities from your life, it can feel as though you have been betrayed. The pain of loss cuts deep, and the hurt can feel unbearable, especially when those people or opportunities were once a source of comfort, connection, or promise. But in truth, This is not betrayal, it is divine editing. God, in his infinite wisdom, sees the bigger picture, one that you may not be able to grasp in the moment. He knows that some relationships, while beautiful, could have distracted you from your purpose, clouded your vision, or delayed the fulfillment of your divine calling. In his mercy, he allows these relationships to fall away, not to hurt you, but to protect what is holy inside you. When God removes what you thought was essential, he is actually making room for what is truly aligned with his plan for your life. This divine editing process is not easy, and it requires great faith to understand. The pain of separation feels overwhelming at times, but it is in these moments that you are being refined and prepared for something greater. What you thought you couldn't live without was simply a stepping stone on your journey. The relationships you lost, the doors that closed, and the opportunities that faded were all part of God's plan to protect your heart and keep you focused on your higher purpose. While the world may view this as loss, heaven sees it as a redirection, a sacred realignment of your life that will lead you to deeper growth and spiritual clarity. In the midst of this separation, you will experience a powerful sense of spiritual growth. The pain of letting go of people or opportunities will force you to look inward, to reevaluate your life, your choices, and your priorities. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that God begins to speak to your soul. It is in the absence of distractions that you are able to hear his voice more clearly, to feel his presence more deeply. The loss of relationships or opportunities is not a rejection of you, but a redirection towards your true calling. It is a divine course correction that will lead you into deeper intimacy with God and a more profound understanding of who you are in him. As painful as it may be, this process is necessary for your spiritual growth and transformation. The pain of separation can often feel like being left alone, abandoned even. But God's silence in these moments is not an absence, it is preparation. His silence is not a punishment, but a divine protection. He is guiding you through this time of solitude to bring you closer to him. Being alone with God may feel isolating at first, but it is, in fact, the safest place you can be. It is in this sacred solitude that you will find clarity and divine direction. The distractions of the world are stripped away, and you are left with nothing but your heart and God's voice. In this place, you will hear him more clearly than ever before, and you will begin to see the purpose for your pain and separation. God's silence is not to be feared. It is a signal that he is at work in your life, shaping and molding you for the next phase of your journey. During this time, you may question why certain people have left your life or why certain opportunities did not come to fruition. But remember this: the loss is not a rejection. It is a redirection for a higher purpose. The relationships and opportunities that God removes are often not meant for the next chapter of your life. He is creating space for what is truly meant for you, and in the process, he is preparing you for greater things. Trust that God's timing is perfect, and that every step of this journey is part of his divine plan for your life. In times of divine isolation, only those who are meant to walk with you in the next season will be present. God is preparing you for a higher calling, and as you walk through this season of separation, you will begin to see who is truly aligned with your purpose. Separation clears the way for spiritual elevation. It is in this time of solitude that you are being refined, strengthened, and prepared for what is to come. The people who were once part of your life may have served their purpose, but now God is bringing in divine replacements, relationships, and connections that will align with your calling and elevate you to the next level. This divine isolation is a powerful tool for spiritual growth. It teaches you to rely solely on God, to trust in his plan even when you don't understand it. It removes the noise and distractions so that you can focus on what truly matters: your relationship with God and the fulfillment of your purpose. In this season of separation, you are being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. While it may be painful now, trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything for your good. When the time is right, you will look back and see that this period of isolation was a sacred and necessary part of your divine journey. So, embrace the solitude. Embrace the separation. Know that in this quiet, sacred space, God is doing his deepest work in you. He is removing what no longer serves you and bringing you closer to the people, the purpose, and the destiny that He has prepared for you. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. You are not alone. You are being aligned. And what comes next will be greater than anything you could have imagined. Trust the process, for it is leading you to the divine unveiling of your true purpose. As God's chosen women, you carry a spiritual language that is often foreign to the world around you. The depths of your faith, the sensitivity of your spirit, and the visions you experience are not easily understood by those who have not walked the path you've walked. It's not just that others don't understand, it's that they can't. You are speaking from a place beyond human comprehension, an inner knowing that comes from the Holy Spirit, and this can leave those around you confused, even unsettled. Your thoughts and feelings come from a place of deep spiritual insight, and to the untrained ear, this can sound strange or even out of place. This disconnect can leave you feeling isolated, as though you're speaking a language that only you and God understand. It's a lonely feeling, but it is also a divine marker that you have been set apart for something greater. The world doesn't see your anointing because they haven't seen the battles you've fought, the prayers you've prayed, or the quiet moments of obedience when no one was watching. Your journey has been marked by challenges that have shaped you into the woman you are today. Those who haven't walked in your shoes can't begin to comprehend the spiritual weight you carry or the depth of your calling. This lack of understanding often leads to isolation. People may pull away from you, not out of malice, but because your spiritual presence challenges their comfort zone. It's not that you are too much, it's that your spiritual sensitivity exposes what they are unwilling to face in their own lives. And while this can be painful, it is also an indication that you are walking in a divine calling that requires a different path, one that is often walked alone. But this pain of being misunderstood is not something to be feared or resented. It is a part of the cost of carrying spiritual vision. The deeper your faith, and the more aligned you become with God's will, the more likely it is that others will not understand. They won't understand why you make certain sacrifices, why you choose certain paths, or why your life seems different from theirs. The depth of your faith makes others uncomfortable. But that discomfort is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of the power and purity of your spiritual vision. You are set apart for a higher purpose, and that purpose often requires a level of obedience, sacrifice, and faith that others cannot grasp. You are a witness to the unseen, and sometimes, those who only walk by sight cannot understand the path you are walking by faith. Even Jesus, the Son of God, was misunderstood by those closest to him. His own family, his disciples, and the people he came to save, doubted him, questioned him, and failed to recognize the power he carried. If Jesus, who performed miracles and healed the sick, could be misunderstood by those he loved, then it is no surprise that you, too, may be misunderstood. The world did not understand Jesus' divine mission, and it is likely that the world will not understand the divine mission that God has placed on your life. But just as Jesus remained faithful to his calling despite the doubts and rejection of others, you too are called to stand firm in your purpose, even when no one else can see what you see. The misunderstanding of others is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It is a confirmation that you are walking the path God has set for you, a path that requires faith beyond what the world can comprehend. God does not need you to convince anyone of your calling. He doesn't need you to explain or defend what he has placed in your heart. Your role is not to convince others. It is to be a witness to his work in your life. There will be a time, perhaps far in the future, when others will finally understand what you've carried, what you've endured, and what you've sacrificed. But by that time, you will be walking in a higher calling, one that is beyond the realm of ordinary understanding. The world may not see the fullness of your purpose now, but God does. And when the time is right, when the manifestation of his glory in your life is undeniable, those who once doubted you will understand. But by then, you will no longer need their approval because you will have learned to trust God's validation above all else. In the meantime, let your life speak for itself. You don't need to explain your journey, defend your choices, or justify your faith to anyone. Your purpose will shine through your actions, through your unwavering trust in God, and through the way you carry yourself, even in the face of misunderstanding. God's glory will be revealed in your life in ways that will leave no room for doubt. And when that day comes, You won't need to explain it because the transformation in your life will speak louder than any words ever could. Your obedience, your faith, and your perseverance will be the testimony that proves that God was with you all along. So, if you find yourself misunderstood, know that this is part of the divine process. The world may not see what you see, but God sees you, and that is all that matters. Your journey is sacred, your pain is purposeful, and your calling is greater than anything anyone can comprehend. Keep walking in faith, knowing that one day, when God reveals His plan for your life, everything will make sense to those who doubted you. Until then, let your life be the testimony that speaks louder than words ever could. The chosen ones are familiar with a battle that no one else can see. While the world rests in the comfort of daily life, those who are set apart for divine purposes are waging wars in realms unseen by the human eye. These battles are not fought with swords or shields, but in the spiritual realms, where the forces of darkness clash against the light within them. While others may go about their days unaware of the invisible war raging around them, the chosen ones are fully aware of the spiritual tension that comes with their calling. This war is not fought on the surface. It is deep, unseen, and yet incredibly real. It is a constant, unrelenting fight that often leaves them exhausted, not physically, but emotionally and spiritually. When the clock strikes midnight and the world is asleep, the chosen ones feel a weight that others do not understand. It's not the kind of exhaustion that comes from a long day's work or a busy schedule. It's something deeper, something that touches the core of their being. It is the weight of the invisible battle for their spirit, a battle that rages in the silence of the night. While others are dreaming, the chosen ones are in spiritual warfare, praying, interceding, fighting battles on behalf of others, and standing firm against forces that seek to steal their peace and purpose. This battle is not visible, but it is deeply felt. And in these quiet, unseen moments, the chosen ones are strengthened. Though the world may not recognize the struggle, it is in these invisible battles that God is refining their strength, teaching them to stand firm in faith, and equipping them for the greater purpose He has set before them. The more light the chosen ones carry, the greater the target on their backs. The enemy does not waste his energy on those who are lukewarm or comfortable in their faith. He targets the ones who are on fire for God, the ones whose light shines brightly in the darkness. The enemy knows that the chosen ones are a threat to his agenda, so he will use every tactic, every distraction, and every attack to try to silence them. This is why the chosen ones often face battles that others do not understand. The more they pursue their calling, the more the enemy resists. The more they rise in faith, the more opposition they will encounter. But what the enemy doesn't realize is that every attack against the chosen ones only serves to reveal the power of God working within them. Every battle is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It is a confirmation that they are walking the path that God has set before them, and the enemy is doing everything he can to stop them. The enemy's attacks are never random. They are a direct response to the divine light and power that the chosen ones carry. Every time the enemy seeks to discourage them, to bring doubt, fear, or confusion, it is a reflection of the threat the chosen ones pose to the kingdom of darkness. The attacks are not an indication of failure, but of divine purpose advancing. The more the enemy targets them, the more it confirms that they are walking in alignment with God's will. The darkness is fighting because it knows that the light within the chosen ones cannot be extinguished. Every time the enemy whispers lies, every time the pressure seems too much to bear, it is a reminder that they are exactly where they need to be. The battles are not signs that they are losing, but that they are winning. Every attack is a testimony to the power of God at work in their lives. Endurance through these battles is proof of divine strength. The chosen ones are not fighting in their own power, but in the strength of the Lord. When the enemy's attacks seem relentless, when the weight of the spiritual warfare feels unbearable, it is in these moments that the chosen ones are called to rise in faith, choosing peace over panic, love over bitterness, and faith over fear is not easy, but it is the victory of endurance that causes the darkness to lose ground. Each time they choose to stand firm in the face of adversity, they are pushing back the forces of darkness. The enemy may attack, but with each attack, The chosen ones are growing stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with God's purpose. They are proving that nothing, no attack, no setback, no opposition can stand against the power of God working through them. The pressure that the chosen ones feel is not a sign of defeat. It is an indicator that divine promotion is near. Just as gold must be refined in the fire, so too must the chosen ones endure the pressure of spiritual warfare to be made into the vessels God is calling them to be. Every time the enemy presses in, God is using it to prepare them for greater things. The pressure they feel is a sign that God is getting ready to elevate them to a higher level of authority, influence, and purpose. It is in the battles, the moments of intense pressure, that they are being shaped into who God has destined them to be. The greater the resistance, the greater the breakthrough that is on the horizon. So, when the darkness feels overwhelming and the attacks seem unrelenting, remember this: it is not a sign of failure. It is a confirmation that you are walking in divine purpose. Your endurance through the battle is not just a reflection of your strength, but of God's strength working through you. Every battle you face is pushing you closer to the breakthrough that God has for you. And when you emerge from the fire, you will be refined, purified, and ready for the divine promotion that awaits. Keep standing, keep fighting, and know that with every attack, you are advancing the kingdom of God, and nothing can stand against the power of the Holy Spirit within you. Waiting on God's timing is one of the most challenging aspects of the journey for the chosen ones. The pain of waiting is not just a passive experience, it's an active test of both patience and faith. When you know that God has promised you something, when you feel the stirring of a destiny waiting to unfold but it hasn't yet materialized, it can feel like the hardest trial of all. The tension between holding on to your faith and the growing frustration of delay often leaves you in a place of deep emotional turmoil. It's like standing at the edge of a great promise, watching others move forward while you stand still. In those moments, it's easy to mistake God's silence for rejection or abandonment. But the truth is, waiting is not a punishment, it's a divine process. The weight you feel during this season is not the weight of defeat. It is the weight of preparation. The longer the wait, the deeper the preparation. Each moment that passes is not wasted, but rather a step in the intricate process of divine construction. God is not delaying your blessing. He is aligning you with the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances to ensure that when the promise does come, you are ready to receive it. It's easy to view waiting as a form of frustration, but in the eyes of God, it's a season of deep, intentional preparation. Just as a potter takes time to carefully shape and mold the clay, God is shaping your character, aligning your heart with His will, and strengthening your spirit for the greatness that is about to unfold. In the midst of waiting, it's important to remember that this is not a passive waiting. It is a time of active construction, a time when God is building your capacity to handle the weight of the calling that is ahead of you. Think about the great figures of faith: Abraham, Joseph, David. All of them endured long seasons of waiting, each filled with moments of doubt, frustration, and even pain. Yet, in each season of waiting, God was constructing something far greater than they could see in the moment. Abraham waited for the promise of a child when it seemed impossible. Joseph waited in prison before he wore the robe of a ruler. David waited for years as a shepherd before he was crowned king. Their waiting was not wasted. Each day of waiting was a step in the preparation for the weight of the blessing and calling that would come in due time. And just like them, your waiting is not a delay, it's divine construction. Waiting requires faith in the unseen, faith that God is at work even when you cannot perceive it. The more difficult the wait, the greater the blessing. You may feel as though the promise is slipping further away, but in truth, God is preparing you for it in ways you cannot yet understand. Every moment of silence, every delay, and every unanswered prayer is part of the divine process. It's easy to become disheartened during times of waiting, to question why God hasn't answered yet or why the door is still closed. But each delay is not a sign of God's neglect. Rather, it is a sign of His perfect timing, His divine wisdom. He is arranging everything, people, situations, opportunities in the background, preparing you for the exact moment when He will open the door. Just as God's delay was not the end of the story for Abraham or Joseph, it is not the end of the story for you. Each moment of waiting is preparing you for the weight of glory that is coming your way. You are being built to handle the very promise that God has spoken over your life. The longer the wait, the greater the capacity He is giving you to carry the weight of your calling. There is a divine construction happening inside of you. God is building your character, deepening your faith, and expanding your ability to steward the blessing that is coming. You are being prepared for greatness, and this preparation cannot be rushed. So, while waiting may feel like an agonizing pause, know that it is a time of divine refinement. Every moment of silence from God is not a moment wasted. It is a moment of divine construction. The harder the wait, the greater the blessing, and the greater the preparation. Trust that God is aligning everything perfectly for the right moment. Your waiting is not in vain. Just as gold must be refined in the fire, so too must you be refined in the waiting room of God. Every prayer, every moment of silence, every act of faith during this time is shaping you into the person who will one day carry the blessing with grace and strength. The promise is coming, but it is in the waiting that you are being prepared to steward it with the wisdom, humility, and grace that only God can provide. So, stand firm, beloved, and trust the process. Your moment of divine unveiling is drawing closer, and when it comes, it will be more beautiful and fulfilling than you could ever have imagined. Some wounds are not visible to the naked eye. They don't leave scars on the skin, but instead, they leave marks on the heart and soul. These are the wounds that run deep, wounds of betrayal, abandonment, and rejection. The pain caused by someone you trusted, someone who hurt you when you least expected it, is one of the hardest types of pain to endure. It's a pain that cuts through the very fabric of your being, leaving you questioning your worth, your decisions, and sometimes even your faith. The difficulty of forgiveness often arises in these moments when the pain feels unjust. When it seems impossible to forgive what seems unforgivable. You may wonder how you can forgive someone who has hurt you so deeply, someone who may never understand the weight of their actions. But in these moments, God is calling you to forgive, not to excuse the pain, but to release yourself from its hold. Forgiveness is not for the one who hurt you. It is for you. Forgiveness is not about minimizing the hurt or pretending that the pain didn't matter. It is about acknowledging the wound and choosing to release it. Choosing to let go of the bitterness and anger that will only hold you captive. Holding on to unforgiveness is like carrying a weight that you were never meant to bear. It is a heavy burden that can consume your thoughts, steal your peace, and cloud your joy. The enemy wants you to remain stuck in that bitterness, to replay the hurt over and over, to allow the pain to define you. But God's call to forgive is not for the benefit of the person who hurt you, it is for your freedom. Forgiveness is not about excusing the hurt, it is about choosing to no longer allow that hurt to control you. It is a decision to release yourself from the bondage of resentment, to let go of the chains that keep you trapped in a cycle of pain. When you choose forgiveness, you are stepping into divine freedom. Every act of forgiveness is a step toward healing, a step toward the release of everything that has been weighing on your heart. You are no longer allowing the enemy to use your pain against you. The enemy thrives on bitterness, resentment, and unforgiveness, using them as tools to keep you in bondage. He knows that when you hold on to these emotions, you are less able to receive God's peace, joy, and blessings. But when you choose to forgive, you disarm the enemy. You break the chain that holds you captive. Forgiveness is your divine weapon against him. It is the tool that God gives you to rise above the pain, to heal, and to move forward into the fullness of the life He has planned for you. The healing that comes through forgiveness is not just emotional, it is spiritual, physical, and relational. When you forgive, heaven rushes in to heal your heart. The wounds that once seemed impossible to heal are touched by the hands of God, bringing restoration and peace. Forgiveness is not just about freeing the person who hurt you. It is about freeing yourself. It is about opening your heart to receive the blessings that God has waiting for you. As long as you hold on to unforgiveness, you create a blockage in your spirit. Your ability to fully receive God's love, peace, and blessings is hindered by the weight of bitterness. But when you forgive, you open up the space for God to pour His blessings into your life. Forgiveness is not just an act of obedience, it is an act of divine grace. Through forgiveness, you rise higher. The very thing that was meant to break you becomes the catalyst for your testimony. The pain that once felt like it would destroy you becomes the source of your strength, and your story becomes a testament to the power of God's healing. What was meant to silence you will only amplify your voice. What was meant to steal your joy will become the platform for you to speak of God's goodness, His grace, and His power. Every act of forgiveness is a step towards spiritual elevation. You may not see it in the moment, but forgiveness is part of the process of becoming the person God has called you to be. It is a key that unlocks the door to your next season of blessing, freedom, and purpose. So, if you are carrying the weight of unforgiveness, know that you do not have to carry it any longer. You have been given the power to release it, to let go of the past, and to step into the future that God has prepared for you. Forgiveness is a choice, and it is a choice that leads to healing. Choose to forgive, not because the person who hurt you deserves it, but because you deserve to live in the freedom that comes from letting go. The healing you need is found in forgiveness, and when you choose to forgive, you will experience the peace that surpasses understanding. Your wounds will no longer define you. You will rise above them, stronger, more whole, and more aligned with the purpose God has for your life. So forgive, and let God heal your heart, because your best days are ahead of you. There are moments in life when it feels as if everything is falling apart, when the ground beneath your feet seems to crumble, and the weight of the world feels unbearable. These moments are not signs of defeat, though they are moments of divine purification. When life falls apart, it may feel like destruction, but in reality, it is God's way of refining you. Like a masterful artist chiseling away at a rough stone, God is shaping your character, removing the impurities, and preparing you for something greater. The fire you are experiencing is not meant to burn you. It is meant to purify you. It's in this fire that everything false and unnecessary is burned away, leaving only the true, unshakable core of who you are in Christ. The purification process can be painful, especially when it feels like everything you once relied on is being stripped away. But this is where God's work is most evident. The fire reveals what is real and exposes what is false. It burns away the things that have held you back, the fears, the doubts, the insecurities, and the attachments that were never meant to accompany you on your journey. The fire of testing reveals the depths of your faith, showing you where you still need to grow, but also strengthening you where you are already strong. It's through this process that God is refining your spirit, preparing you to carry the higher calling He has set before you. It may feel painful now, but the purification happening in this season is a necessary part of the transformation that is taking place within you. You are not being destroyed, you are being made whole. Enduring the flames of life's challenges is not easy. It requires perseverance, trust, and an unshakable belief that God is with you, even in the hardest of times. Just like gold is refined in the fire to remove its impurities, your spirit is being purified through the heat of your trials. These trials are not meant to break you. They are meant to strengthen you, to prepare you for the greater responsibilities and blessings that lie ahead. In the fire, you will discover a strength that you did not know you possessed. A resilience that is born not out of your own ability but out of your dependence on God. When you endure the flames, you are learning to rely on God's strength rather than your own. This is the refining process, where you are made stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with the person God is calling you to be. While the fire may feel intense and unrelenting, remember that you are never alone in it. God is with you in the fire. He walks alongside you, His presence ever near. His strength sustaining you when you feel as though you can't take another step. When you emerge from the fire, you will not be the same person who entered it. You will be unshaken, with a newfound strength that comes from having endured the most intense testing. The fire is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to define you. It shapes your character, fortifies your faith, and aligns you with the purpose God has set before you. Through the fire, you become a vessel that can carry greater responsibility, a heart that can withstand the weight of greater glory. As you emerge from the fire, you will carry the unshakable strength of someone who has witnessed God's glory. The trials that once seemed insurmountable will no longer hold power over you. You will have passed through the furnace of testing, and the strength you now possess will be rooted in the knowledge that God has been with you every step of the way. The pressure you feel right now is not in vain. It is preparing you for divine elevation. The weight you carry is shaping you into someone capable of handling the greater blessings and responsibilities that God has for you. You may feel the pressure, but it is in the pressure that your purpose is being revealed. The fire has a way of refining you in ways that no comfort or ease ever could. In time, you will rise above everything that tried to break you. The fire, the trials, and the challenges that seemed so overwhelming will become the stepping stones that elevate you to new heights. You will look back and realize that everything you endured was not in vain. The pressure was necessary for the promotion. The pain was a precursor to the purpose. The fire that once threatened to consume you has become the crucible in which your character was forged. You are now stronger, more resilient, and more prepared to walk in the calling that God has set before you. You will carry a new level of faith, a new understanding of God's power, and a new purpose that will enable you to rise above anything that once threatened to break you. So, embrace the fire, knowing that it is refining you, preparing you, and shaping you into a person who can carry the weight of glory. What once tried to destroy you will become the very thing that launches you into your destiny. You will emerge from the fire not only unshaken, but elevated, ready to walk in the fullness of God's purpose for your life. The fire was not your end. It was the beginning of a new season, a season of divine strength, glory, and elevation. The weight of destiny is something that the chosen women feel deeply. It's not a burden that is visible to the world, but it is felt in the depths of the soul. The responsibility you carry is enormous, and it can sometimes feel overwhelming. The calling you have received is not one of ease. It is a divine purpose that requires great commitment, sacrifice, and perseverance. You are called to intercede, to serve, to lead, and to stand firm when others cannot. The weight of this calling can feel heavy because it demands so much of you, asking you to lay down your personal desires, your comforts, and sometimes your understanding in order to fulfill the divine purpose God has set before you. This weight is not something that can be taken lightly. It requires a deep level of trust in God, a willingness to step into the unknown, and to carry the load even when you feel unworthy or unable. You may often question whether you have the strength to carry it, whether you are capable of bearing such responsibility. But in these moments, it is important to remember that the weight you feel is not meant to break you, it is meant to shape you. God has entrusted you with this calling because He knows that you are strong enough to carry it. He has seen your heart. He has seen your endurance, and He knows that you have the resilience to fulfill the purpose He has ordained for you. The pain of carrying this calling, while immense at times, also carries with it great power. It is in the moments when the weight bends your knees that your wings begin to grow. The pressure you feel is not here to crush you, but to refine you, to build you into someone who can soar. As the calling pulls on your heart, pulling you in directions you may not fully understand, it forces you to surrender. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It means giving in to God's will, trusting that He is in control of your life, and allowing His power to carry you when your strength runs out. The process of surrendering is what builds your spiritual wings, enabling you to rise above every challenge, every obstacle, and every moment of doubt. It's in surrender that you find your true strength, strength that is not your own, but is drawn directly from the God who called you. The pain that comes with carrying your calling is a refining process. It is shaping you, preparing you for the greatness that is ahead. The more you endure, the stronger you become. The weight may seem unbearable at times, but it is this very weight that is molding your spirit into something unbreakable. The calling you have is not meant to defeat you. It is meant to prepare you for what is to come. Every step you take in faith, even when the burden feels too much, is a step toward your destiny. Even when you feel like giving up, the endurance you show is building a foundation of strength that will carry you through the most challenging seasons. Endurance is not just about surviving, it is about transforming. Every challenge, every trial, and every painful moment is shaping you into someone who is unstoppable. The weight of your calling is teaching you perseverance, resilience, and faith in God's timing. It is through your endurance that you will see the fruit of your labor, fruit that will last for eternity. Your calling is not a burden that weighs you down. It is a divine trust placed in your hands, a trust that will yield eternal fruit. God has not called you to carry this weight on your own. He has given you His grace to sustain you, His power to strengthen you, and His wisdom to guide you. When you feel the weight of the calling, remember that it is not the weight itself that defines you, but how you carry it. It is through God's grace that you are able to endure. Each step, each struggle, and each moment of surrender is leading you to a greater purpose. The world may not always see the weight you carry, but God sees it, and He is with you every step of the way, strengthening you for the journey ahead. When you feel tired, when you feel like you can't go any further, remember that God's grace is sufficient. He will never give you more than you can bear, and with every step you take, you are becoming more like the person He has called you to be. So, carry the weight of your calling with grace, with trust, and with the knowledge that you are being prepared for something extraordinary. The pain you feel is not in vain. It is part of the divine process that will lead to your transformation. Your calling is not a burden to bear alone, it is a divine trust that will bring you closer to the glory of God. When you rise above the pain, you will see that every moment of struggle was worth it. The weight of your destiny will become the wings that allow you to soar into the purpose God has designed for you. The weight of destiny is not something lightly carried. For the chosen women, it is a mantle that is both a blessing and a challenge. When you are called by God to walk a path of divine purpose, the responsibility can sometimes feel too heavy to bear. It's more than just a task or a role, it is a divine calling that touches every part of who you are. The pain of carrying such a calling is real. It presses down on your heart, makes your spirit weary, and tests your resolve in ways that others may not see or understand. But this weight is not meant to break you. It is designed to refine you, to shape you into the woman God has destined you to be. The responsibility of interceding, serving, and standing firm when others falter can feel like an overwhelming burden. Yet, it is this very weight that pushes you to grow, to trust, and to rely on the strength that only God can provide. As you carry this responsibility, you may find yourself feeling isolated at times, as though no one understands the depth of your calling or the sacrifices you are making. But even in the moments of loneliness, God is with you. He is strengthening you in ways that you may not fully comprehend. The weight of the calling feels heavy because it requires a deep commitment. It asks you to lay down your personal desires and comfort in order to serve a higher purpose. It calls you to step into the unknown, to walk paths that others might not understand, and to endure trials that refine your spirit. This is not an easy calling, but it is a glorious one, and God has trusted you with it because He knows you have the strength to carry it. While the weight of your calling can feel like a burden at times, it also carries the power to elevate you. The process of surrendering is where the true strength is found. When the weight feels like it is bending your knees, it is in those moments of surrender that your wings begin to grow. Surrendering to God does not mean giving up. It means giving in to His divine will, trusting that His plans are greater than your own, and allowing His strength to carry you through. Every time you choose to surrender, you are allowing God to refine your spirit, to remove the impurities, and to make you stronger for what is ahead. The weight of the calling, while it may bend you, also builds you. It builds your capacity to handle more, to endure greater trials, and to stand firm in the face of opposition. God has entrusted you with this heavy calling because He knows you are capable of carrying it. He has seen the strength in you that even you may not have recognized. In the moments when you feel overwhelmed, remember that the pain of carrying this calling is shaping you for greatness. God does not give this responsibility to those who are not equipped for it. His confidence in you is not misplaced. He knows that through your endurance, you will emerge stronger, more faithful, and more aligned with the purpose He has set before you. Enduring the pain of your calling is a process of transformation. Every trial, every burden, every moment of doubt and difficulty is shaping you into someone unstoppable. The path may not be easy, but it is leading you toward the fullness of your destiny. Each step you take in faith, even when the weight feels unbearable, is a step toward the divine purpose God has for you. The journey of endurance is not just about surviving, it's about being transformed in the process. God is using every moment of struggle to prepare you for the glory that lies ahead. You may not see the full picture now, but know that each step is part of a greater plan, one that will lead to a purpose far beyond what you can imagine. The more you endure, the more your faith is strengthened. The weight of your calling is not just something that burdens you, it is something that empowers you. God is preparing you to carry the weight of glory. His grace sustains you in the moments when you feel weak, and His strength rises up in you when you feel like giving up. You are not alone in this journey. God walks with you every step of the way, and His grace is sufficient to carry you through the hardest moments. You may feel like you are standing at the edge of your strength, but it is in those moments that God's power becomes most evident. As you endure, you will begin to see that the weight of your calling is not something that diminishes you. It is something that elevates you. Every trial you face, every burden you carry, is preparing you for the greatness that God has in store for you. You are not just carrying a calling, you are carrying a divine trust that will bear eternal fruit. The pain of carrying this calling will eventually give way to the joy of seeing God's purpose fulfilled in your life. When you look back on this season, you will see that every moment of struggle, every tear, and every act of surrender was part of the divine process that led you to the destiny God had prepared for you all along. So, as you carry the weight of your calling, know that it is not a burden, but a blessing. God has entrusted you with something sacred, something powerful, and He has equipped you to carry it. Trust in His grace to sustain you, and know that with every step of endurance, you are being prepared for divine elevation. The weight you feel is not here to break you, it is here to make you unshakable. Keep walking, keep trusting, and keep surrendering, because what lies ahead is worth every moment of sacrifice. You will rise above everything that tried to break you, and you will carry the glory of God into the fullness of your destiny. The pain you feel, though difficult and at times overwhelming, is not wasted. It is not meaningless suffering but a sacred process of transformation. God uses every struggle, every hardship, every tear, to refine you for a greater purpose. In His wisdom, He allows you to walk through the fire, to face challenges that seem insurmountable, knowing that these experiences are shaping you into the woman you were always meant to become. Each moment of pain, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, is part of the divine plan that God has carefully orchestrated for your life. It is through these trials that you are being purified, strengthened, and prepared for the destiny He has set before you. God doesn't waste anything, and He certainly doesn't waste your pain. What you experience today is molding you into the person who will carry the weight of His glory tomorrow. The hardships you endure are not random. They are stepping stones on the path that leads you to your divine purpose. You may not see the full picture right now, but rest assured that every challenge, every tear, every moment of heartache is moving you closer to the greatness that God has already prepared for you. Your pain is not here to break you, it is here to build you, to shape you, and to make you stronger than you could ever imagine. Trust that in every struggle, God is at work, refining you for a higher calling and a more glorious destiny. As you continue to walk through this process, remember that what is hidden will one day be revealed. The work that God has been doing in the secret places, the shaping, the refining, and the transforming, will one day be visible to the world. What seemed like endless waiting and unseen suffering will soon give way to a divine unveiling. In God's perfect timing, He will reveal the woman you have become, strong, powerful, and full of purpose. Your pain, though it may have seemed pointless at times, is the very thing that has shaped you into the person who will carry His glory with grace and authority. You are being prepared in secret for a purpose that will soon be visible to all. Your transformation is happening even now, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when the world cannot see the growth occurring inside of you. The person you are becoming is not the same as the one who entered the fire. Every hardship has refined your character, every trial has deepened your faith, and every tear has been counted by God. He has been working in your life in ways that others cannot see, but soon, the fruit of your labor will be revealed. the world will witness the strength, the power, and the purpose that God has been cultivating within you. And when that transformation is revealed, it will not only testify to God's faithfulness, but will also be a living example of the power of perseverance and faith. As you continue on your journey, remember this: endurance leads to glory. Your journey may not be easy, and there will be moments when you feel as though the weight is too much to bear. But keep walking in faith, knowing that the glory that awaits will make every tear, every struggle, and every moment of pain worth it. The pain you are experiencing is not the end, it is the process that leads to the manifestation of your purpose. You are not just enduring, you are becoming a powerful vessel for God's glory. Your pain is refining you, preparing you, and positioning you for the greater purpose that lies ahead. So, take heart in the midst of your struggles. Trust in the process and know that the glory that is to come will be far greater than the pain you have endured. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, something that will testify to the faithfulness of God and the power of His grace. Every tear has been seen, every trial has a purpose, and every moment of hardship is leading you closer to the divine destiny God has planned for you. You are not alone in this journey. You are not forgotten. You are being shaped and refined for a purpose greater than you can imagine, and soon, the world will see the transformation that God has been working in secret. Keep walking in faith, for your best days are yet to come.